Hey everybody, this is Kevin Rice, and as last week, it took me about 7 minutes last week, and I guess it took me 4 minutes to get you on yet. I'm waiting here. You don't get a Facebook Live yet?
Not yet.
Yeah, neither has Aaron here. So, we're going to give it just a minute here. There we go. We should be on right now. We are. Okay, welcome. Again, this is Kevin Rice, and I am with one of my colleagues, Yul Turnquist, who's on the board of the Academy of Spiritual Awakening. And we have decided to really do it privately right now because I'm in the process of moving to another home, just 3 buildings away. In just a few weeks, and we are in the process of packing up everything here, and that's why I chosen to really be a little bit more individual and personal. And by the way, we are going to give you a questionnaire, probably 3 questions to our students here in West Palm Beach to determine the best times for them to come over. During the week, what times, and so forth. So we're going to send you by email a very brief questionnaire, probably this weekend, and let us know. Also, we are also looking whether to do Facebook Live together with a class or not. So half of them like it, half don't. So I don't know which way we're going to do it here, but we're going to do it, and welcome to everyone here. Before we really go through the way of mastery as well as A Course in Miracles, I really want everyone to, first of all, just acknowledge the presence of the sacred right now in this moment. Unfortunately, most people are not acknowledging the sacred quality that is between us right now. And the realization that we are one right now, that right now we are exchanging molecules with each other, and the only thing that is separating from me and you from me and are our judgments about each other. And when we suspend those judgments, then we begin to have an experience of unity, of oneness, and so forth. So Yul, we're trying to figure this best way out here, whether I communicate with the audience here. I don't know. Do you want to stay here or move over there so I can see you better? Okay, good. All right, and look, here's the deal. Obviously, I'm doing 2 things tonight. A Course in Miracles, based on the original handwritten notes of Helen Schuckman, and also The Way of Mastery, and it's 3 sections: the way of the heart, the way of transformation, and the way of knowing. And I want to be very authentic here, and Yul, thank you for moving over there. It makes it a little easier with my head. And this is very interesting because I've only read, there's 35 lessons here in this book. I have only read the first 12 lessons. But I just want you to know that I am extremely passionate about it already. And I already went through the way of the heart, and I thought, you know what, I really want to communicate this with everybody in the group that we converse with every week. So we are going through this and A Course in Miracles, and regarding the miracle principles, I'm doing it again individually, probably on the weekend, and I'll post it on the Academy of Spiritual Awakening page. And if you're not on that page, you need to go to it. And it's really easy breezy, and we've got several members there, and so connect with us through that venue. And are you on live here?
Yeah.
You're okay. We are. So, all right. Look, I hope for the best way to do this, I want to really start here the way of mastery, because I definitely, you know this well, if you know me, that I know A Course in Miracles thoroughly. I have been teaching it for probably 30 years, and I will refer to A Course in Miracles as I go through lesson 1 of the way of mastery. So the first lesson 1, and I'm just going to give you gems, okay, nuggets, if you will, as we go through this. And Yul, if you have any questions, just let me know, okay, and we will communicate this through. And if anybody wants to know more about Yul, just go to our website and go to the About page, and you'll meet all of our board of directors here. All right. All right, folks, let's take a deep breath first, okay? Yes. Good, man. Resting in God every day. And the first lesson 1 begins with the way that calls you home. The way that calls you home. And when I read that subtitle, I immediately reminded myself of the Bible, where, you know, the prodigal son, you know, going into time and space and experiencing suffering as a result of it, and then having a journey back to home. And the same is true with what occurred with Adam and Eve, right? That by picking the fruit of duality, of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, by doing so, they entered into a realm of what I would call a sleep in that moment. And in fact, the Bible refers to this as well, that Adam fell into a deep sleep, and nowhere did he ever wake up from it. And so this is what we are experiencing together right now, okay? That journey back home, the way that calls you home, okay? First of all, before we do this, Yul, how are you doing?
Excellent.
Excellent.
I feel great.
Good. We look great.
Thank you.
And if you need a pillow, you've got one right there too. And you've got the way of mastery open. And so I'm going to mention a few things here on the paragraph 1 here. I come not to teach you, but to love you until you choose from the depth within your own being to set aside every illusion you have ever given credence to, and to remember the truth which alone is true. So how we start here is to really understanding the illusions that we surround ourselves with every moment of every day. It hovers around us every day. And so we have to discover what is the truth and what is an hallucination. That's all. And that is the way of mastery. You want to understand and move and live into and abide to the eternal timeless now, which is the product of what you really created from and by our source. Okay, when we know that, then life begins to change completely in our lives. Okay, so I'm going to go about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs down. What is important then, by way of beginning, is to consider this simple fact. Your experience is always the effect of where you choose to focus the attention of your consciousness, itself being unlimited forever, embracing all the many dimensions of creation. You abide in that which embraces all things in all ways at all times. In truth, you do not know separation, birth or death, gain or loss. What an incredible lesson. First of all, if people have any skepticism regarding the way of mastery, I think that it is 100% in alignment with A Course in Miracles. It just does. I know this just reading the first 12 lessons here. And by the way, if you want this book, it's really easy. Just go to Santi Cristo Foundation, okay, their website, and you can get the book right there. Or you can go to Amazon. That's it. And we can connect with the book there, okay? All right. So I want to just say a few things about this paragraph, which is powerful in and of itself. Your experience is always the effect of where you choose to focus the attention, your attention. So look here, let me just explain what we are really looking at in time and space right now, what we call the world, okay? The world itself is an effect, okay? I mentioned this last week and I'll mention it again, you know. If you want to watch this, you can go to our website, the academyofspiritualawakening.org, and watch the video from last week under A Course in Miracles tab there. And we talked about dropping a pebble into the pool of awareness, okay? And whether we are dropping the pebble of love or whether we are dropping the pebble of fear. One of two choices, one of two voices that we are listening to at any moment, okay? So when we do drop those pebbles into the field of awareness, what we call the shimmering field of awareness, we are going to experience the ripples that come from dropping those pebbles of either love or fear into our awareness. So for instance, right now, if what we are experiencing is suffering or limitation or loss or a loss of love, it is because not of what is happening because of the ripples, but rather because of the pebble of love or fear that we are dropping into those pool of awareness. And if you need these, in fact, I would invite you to, and by the way, I just, in Miami, I just mentioned to a couple of students there, and I texted them and I said, hey, you've got to get this book, The Way of Mastery, because if you have any difficulty whatsoever in understanding A Course in Miracles, this is a very direct and simple way of communicating A Course in Miracles and inform yourself in a very gentle and simple way. So I'm saying, always when you get those books, to take a pen and a highlighter, because I read for 3 lessons and I thought, oh my God, I should have highlighted this whole thing and underlined. So I redid it today just to be able to communicate to our students what we are doing here. So again, I want to say, so what we are experiencing in effect is a ripple of what we are allowing and giving attention to in our field of awareness. That's it. Now, people don't like that at all. They don't like it at all. Hi, Robin. It's good to see you, my friend. And let me know, Yul, if we've got any questions or anything else. People don't like this. People want to traffic in blame. Blame, blame, blame. And hello, Christopher Jackson in Miami. I love you so much, my holy brother. The reason why blame is prevalent in our psyches is because we have projected what we do not want to own in our own mind. So we have to repress it. We have to deny it. Okay. So the way of mastery is an approach where we finally admit to ourselves that we have done this thing together, collectively, as well as individually. So all of our thoughts are very powerful. And so what we are experiencing in the ripples, in the effect, is an effect of what the cause that is producing it. And the causeless cause of fear can bring a ripple of suffering, of sadness, and so forth. But when we instead choose to align ourselves with the mind of God, and when we begin to act as the Christ incarnate, then we begin to have ripples that are actually beautiful. You say, Kevin, I don't like what I'm experiencing in my life right now. Well, guess what? You have an opportunity to choose again. You have an opportunity to change your tomorrows by changing your mind right now. I hope that you understand that. So 100% responsibility of what we are experiencing in the field of awareness. Do you have any questions about this?
No, I'm good with this.
Okay. And you got your tea there, by the way. And by the way, the tea is lemon ginger. I got that, and I have to refill my ginger batteries because I'm a ginger, right?
Right, yeah.
And I hope this is going to be a good tea here that we're having together. So, the effect of where you choose to focus the attention of your consciousness, the pebbles that you're dropping in the field of awareness, they're being unlimited forever, embracing all the many dimensions of creation. Now, this is what I mean when I say that every single thought that you entertain and give attention to, on some level, manifests in the effect somewhere in your world. Okay? There is no such thing as an idle thought. Okay? It is true that the world itself is an effect, but what is happening here in the playground of our minds is quite different. It's different. The world itself is neutral, but our minds itself is not neutral. So we really want to navigate ourselves in a way that we understand that what we really want in our lives as we experience the ripples is only loving thoughts. That's it. And you say, Kevin, I don't have a loving thought right now because I don't like you very much. Well, you can change your mind and see me as having a call to love. That's it. So we can shift that perception and see it as a call to love. Somebody, I see the sickness outside of myself, quote unquote, but I can see instead, I can change my mind moment by moment by seeing it as a call to health. Or I can see it as a call to abundance. So I can change those thoughts immediately right now. The second part of that paragraph says, you abide in that which embraces all things, in all ways, and at all times. In truth, you do not know separation, birth or death, gain or loss. So let's just break this down a little bit here. You abide in that which embraces all things. I was having a lunch in Pompano Beach with an agent. It used to be an agent for me years ago. And we're sitting there having lunch, and she says out of the blue, hey, I don't like war. I don't like war. And without a filter, which I don't have, by the way, is to say to her immediately, hey, you don't like war outside of yourself, but you're okay with entertaining it in your mind. You're okay with giving attention and focus and value to your thoughts inside of your mind, which is at war with itself. So you're not going to experience war outside of yourself until you understand and take full responsibility for what is happening in your mind right now. That's it. That's it. Okay? I can't blame what I'm experiencing right now to our president. I can't do that. I can't blame President Trump. I know that many of you want to do that. But you are too powerful for those small and tiny thoughts. Okay? Our minds are too holy to giving any attention or focus on the small things in the realm of time and space. What you want and what I want is to abide in the eternal timeless now. The substance of God's love permeates through us every single second of every minute, of every hour, of every day. Wow. Man, I love this, man. I love this journey. I do not know how people navigate themselves through this world with peace and joy and kindness without the foundation. When they understand the difference between the truth that is flowing through you right now and the illusions that we entertain each and every day and give our attention to and our value to them as well. Do you have any questions about that?
I agree with you. I can't imagine going through each day without these
reminders. Yeah.
Without these principles.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it would be scary with what's occurring now.
Yeah.
Maybe not scary, but just unnerving.
Yeah. Look, the default is that most people, when they are right now, are alarmed. Okay? The default from the egoic mind is to say, oh, look, this is really proof that you need to be afraid of what is happening. And look, if all of their placing, all that they are doing is placing their trust in that which is naturally temporary anyway, okay? And we're going to go through that as we go through the lesson here as well. And folks, if you got any questions here, let me know, okay? I'm here for you. I'm here to set you on the right path. And so is our board of directors as well. A little further in lesson 1, it says, each of you chooses from your infinite freedom to attract to yourself certain vibrational frequencies, certain forms of qualities of experience. That freedom is what you abide is always, from before the foundations of this world and long after this world ceases to be. I love that. That freedom is what you abide in always. You say, Kevin, I'm not free right now. Yeah, you are, and so am I. How do we know this? Look, what the result of being free is the responsibility that our thoughts are so powerful. We can create loving experiences externally, or because we're so powerful and awesome, we can create an experience of the separation. We can also create, or miscreate rather, foundations of fear, of lack, of limitation, and our experience will reflect that. And because of that, we are so free to choose between one of two choices there, okay? The choice for love or the choice for fear. That's it. There is a reason why Jesus in the New Testament, for instance, you know, a lawyer came to Jesus one time and said to Jesus, hey, what can I do to experience, what can I do to live forever? And Jesus said to the lawyer, hey, what does the law say? What does the prophets say? And the lawyer said that we should love God with all of our hearts, soul, and strength, and love others as we want to be loved. And Jesus said, do this, and you will live forever. You will live forever. So again, I want to say that this is very germane to what we were talking about. This is the way that Jesus really dummied how can I say this phrase? Dumbed down, really, a way to understand what we are really trying to explain and convey to everybody right now. In this moment, we have an opportunity to see reality as it is by loving other people as we want to be loved, okay? And to love our source with all of our heart, soul, and strength. When we do that with conviction and belief and confidence, then we begin to have our tomorrows to reflect those kind of love that we are extending to the world without reservation whatsoever. Okay. Hello, Spirit Miracle. It's good to see you, my friend. Let me just look at this real quick here. Oh, we've got a lot of people here. We got, I'm trying to navigate myself through this here.
Do you see any comments? Or?
Actually, I'm looking for it here. I see people are...
I see everyone that's joined.
Huh?
I see Spirit Miracle said, hello, Kevin. So I guess that's the first comment.
Yeah, I guess Pam. Okay. Hi, Pam. Rhonda. Good to see you. Yule obviously is here as well. So thank you so much for connecting with us here tonight.
Robin.
And Robin McKay, yes. Love her so much here in West Palm Beach. And look, it is helpful to like and share this video right now because we are on Facebook Live. And does help us, the Academy of Spiritual Awakening, to extend this message to the world without ado. And we're not here to enrich us. We are here to enrich the world collectively. Okay. All right. So, yeah, that freedom is available to us and actually was given to us as a gift. Okay. And we can see the evidence of that freedom by our choices and the manifestation of our choices right now in 3D Technicolor. Okay. In each and every moment, you cannot be a victim of what you see. And nothing is outside of you. What you experience, you have directly and deliberately called to yourself. If you hold the thought, I do not like what I have called to myself, that is perfectly fine. For you have called to yourself the experience of being in judgment of yourself. Merely look with the wonder of a child and see what it feels like and ask yourself, is this an energy I wish to continue in, or would I choose something else? So, a couple of things there. Where it says, first of all, what you experience you have directly and deliberately called to yourself. Look, I don't like saying this, but I'm going to say it repeatedly till people understand it. Right now, we are in a dream state, okay? And we're in a dream state because we produced that dream state. You say, Kevin, how did we create a dream state? It's really easy to understand. The moment in which I give attention to or a focus to an illusion is the immediate moment in which I begin to go to a sleep state, a dream state. You know, the only venue in which an illusion can be afforded reality is within a dream state. That's it. So the moment that you or I give our attention to that illusion, then we are asleep immediately. Okay? The moment that I can choose again and begin to see reality for what it is right now, here and now, by embracing all things, okay, then we begin to have an experience of bliss. Okay? Okay. That is the creation that you and I really want to extend to the world each and every day. You say, Kevin, I have other desires. I have other goals. Well, good luck. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Okay? And hi, Kelly. Good to see you, my holy friend, my holy sister. I love you so much. That's what we do. This is how powerful and awesome our mind is. It can create beautiful experiences right now that we experience and love, or we can experience by our miscreations, our misperceptions, our own errors, can experience instead the opposite result of suffering and sadness and so forth. Okay? I hope that you're happy. And we got a lot of people engaging with us here. I hope you have any questions here, folks. I will respond to you right now. And if you put it on the comments afterwards, I will also respond to those as well. And then secondly, in that paragraph, it says, for you have called to yourself the experience of being in judgment of yourself. Wow. For you have called to yourself the experience of being in judgment of yourself. Now, let's just look at this really closely here. We have called to ourselves, by our powerful and awesome mind, a notion of judgment. Okay? Now, if you look at the allegory of Adam and Eve, that's exactly what they did too. By picking that fruit of duality, then immediately they experienced a sleep pattern. Now, let's just talk about judgment here just a moment. And can you just do me a let Leo come out of the bedroom, because he is a little crying back there, and you all probably get Leo in just a minute. Let's just talk about judgment right now. Judgment, judgment, judgment. I am not here to tell you that you should not judge, but I am here to tell you that you are incapable of judgment entirely. Okay. Hey, Leo, give me a moment here. I allow you to suspend your judgment too in this moment. Come here, buddy. There we go. Here, bring him up here. You're good. Okay. So, good boy, Leo. Okay. Leo is with us as well right now. Okay. Now, let's just talk about judgment here. So what we really want to do is, the moment that we judge our brothers, we are judging ourselves simultaneously. That we are essentially, in that moment, allowing ourselves to go to sleep. Okay? Because we picked the fruit of judgment. That's what we did. And we want to release ourselves from that judgment, and we want to experience ourselves instead awake. We want to be woke. I guess this is a new word that the kids are using this day, is woke. Huh?
I heard about that.
You heard about that too?
Yeah.
Look, folks, we want to. Yeah, there's actually a group called Woke Folks, I think is what it's called, right?
I'm not sure.
So we want to be woke. We want to be woke. And we're never going to be woke until we suspend judgment entirely. So what does that mean? There is a temptation from the egoic mind that wants to have vengeance upon the world. And we experience this personally. We see it and experience it collectively as well. Okay? And we want to attack. Okay? And I have said this many times, and I'll say it again. And I hope that the students really understand the nature of what I'm really conveying to everybody. This is from A Course in Miracles. It says, the past is over, and with its passing, the drive for vengeance is uprooted and disappears into the nothingness from which it was born. This is how a suspension of judgment occurs, by letting go the past and letting the future go as well. So, in other words, we are not using time and space to measure our brothers and sisters against it. That's it. We are essentially dropping the yardstick of time and space completely. We are dropping in that moment also, dropping our swords, dropping our weapons, okay? And then we understand eventually and ultimately that the only enemy that we are interacting with is ourselves. That's it. That's it. Now come here, boy. Hold on just a minute here. My boy here is having a little trouble. Oh my gosh. We went, hold on here. We're here. We have not gone anywhere. There we go. We're back.
Plug it in.
And just give me a moment. No, we're good.
Good?
All right, well, you can put it back. Come here. Come here. Ah. Now, this dog may have to go back. I'm sorry here. Okay. This dog may have to go back into the bedroom. Look, I have no judgment about you, Leo Burrito. I love you so much. But he was making a little barking in the bedroom, making a... yeah, so, here's Leo. Okay, folks, he's here. Okay, so you're going to sit right here, okay, as we go through the thing. Do y'all love Leo? He loves you too, because he knows the art of non-judgment, right? He knows the art of a suspension of judgment. Okay, it's ready to step off there a little bit, Leo. Okay? I've got to save the world here. Okay? Here we go. Here we go. Let's take a deep breath here. You want to take a deep breath, Leo? For ultimately, when all possible choices within the dream of separation have been made, have been tasted, have been felt, and have been known, finally there emerges the still, quiet voice of spirit that speaks through the soul, whispering of the one truth, the one reality, the one love, the one peace, and the one bliss that is continual. I love this. Finally there emerges the still, quiet voice of spirit that occurs in time and space. Look, my friend, I admit myself 100%. I have ownership, I have responsibility of everything that I have tasted in time and space. And anybody who knows me well, that I have pushed the boundaries of time and space to make sure that I have exhausted every avenue of what I think in those moments that happiness was outside of myself. And it isn't. That happiness is an inside job. Happiness is an inside job. That's it. And we're never going to experience the peace of God or the happiness of God's love unless we fully retrieve all of the projections that we have made to the world. All of the blame, all of the faults and everything, and retrieving it back to my own mind, which itself has produced it fully. Anybody have any questions?
No, they're just talking to Leo.
They're saying hello to Leo. That's really sweet. Okay, Leo Burrito. We call him Leo Burrito. Okay. Then the soul begins to turn from the things of this created world. And the reason why the soul begins to turn away from this world is because this world is a product of time and space. It is, in essence, temporary. Okay? And because it's temporary, it's going to bring failure each and every time. In chapter 30 of A Course in Miracles, I believe the beginning paragraph of it says, "Seek not outside of yourself, for it will fail, and you will weep each time of an idol falls." Okay? This is why we turn our attention back to the eternal timeless now, inside and not outside, because we understand that what we really did, okay, collectively and individually, created an idol outside of ourselves. When I connect with that person, then I'll be happy. When I have that body in my bed, then I'll be happy. When I have money in the bank, then I'll be happy. And all of this is a fallacy. It's a fallacy. Look, I have friends that really experience both extremes of the spectrum in this world. You know, a wealthy man or a poor person, or a person who is experiencing the love and the light of God in their relationships, and others who are experiencing a deficit of love in their relationships. And because of that, they're experiencing sadness and suffering. I know this. And I know why they're experiencing all of these things. It is the same reason that I have experienced all those things for myself. You know, I was speaking recently, and I was mentioning to a colleague, a fellow minister who wanted to write a book. And this person was looking at my book, and, you know, immediately what I said to this person, without filter again, was, hey, you know, it's really nice to write your own book and so forth, but it is very anticlimactic, okay? In other words, you understand that even when you create something beautiful, that it does not have a lasting permanence within you. Now, yeah, it is helpful to extend to the world the message of God. It's wonderful to be a messenger of God and to extend it beautifully. But to try to make ourselves happy by creating something external is going to bring an experience of sadness. It just is. Okay? Folks, do you have any questions about this? Are you on the same page with me or not? Okay, and Yule and I are here right now to answer any questions that you have. Okay? We want it to be an interactive online presence for you. I am your online minister. I am. And I'm here to set you on the right path. Okay? So if you have any questions, you don't want to mention it on our comments, fine. Send me a private message and I'll respond to you immediately. It begins to withdraw its attention from its attachments to all of the things it has called to itself. It begins to transcend its sense of identification with the vibrational frequencies it has only meant to play with and then took seriously. It is seriousness within the mind that is the creation of the ego. So, it's wonderful to play in the playground of creation. It's wonderful. Where it goes south is when we take those things that we play with and give it seriousness. We make what is normally and naturally unreal real by seeing the seriousness of it. Okay? Of Course in Miracles says this as well. That, you know, into eternity where all is one, there crept a tiny mag in which the Son of God, you and me as well, forgot to laugh. Okay? That's because in that moment, we created a scenario in which we thought that fear was serious. And it isn't. It is not serious at all. In fact, it is a fallacy. It's a fallacy. Look, we do this all the time. And enlightenment does not ask that we never have fearful moments, but that it be our choice not to keep it, not to hold on to it. Look, I had this experience in Miami, and a dear friend of mine in Miami who is near and dear to my heart, okay? And she was at Mount Sinai. And I was driving to Miami Beach to meet this person. And on the way there, I got a call that says, here, I can this. You got a question?
Yeah.
We got a question here. Let me finish, and then I'll respond to this question here. So I'm going to Miami Beach to meet her. And then I got a call from a friend that says, oh, by the way, she is highly contagious with an infection. And the moment that occurred, I said, oh my God, because look, I've got through my own, experiences myself, and then immediately that fear just gripped me and said, oh my God, what do I do here? So what did I do? I went there regardless, and I said, actually it wasn't Mount Sinai, it was another organization at that moment, because before I actually turned away and went the other way, okay? I did not want to sit there. But it occurred again. And I said, you know what, there's nothing to fear here. I am not trafficking in fear at all. I'm not going to give my attention to it. I'm not going to give my focus to it whatsoever. I am not going to approach it with seriousness. Because the moment that I give it seriousness is the moment that I'm in hell, in that moment. So we have a question here from somebody.
Kelly Brockmeyer.
Okay. Hi, John Irvin. Love you. Kelly. Kelly, why? Explain the sadness after creating something. Oh, Kelly. Here it is, my holy sister. Sadness occurs as a result of placing my focus, my attention, my energy to the temporal world. Kelly, you are the light of the world. You cannot be fallen away. You will not be uprooted from time and space at all. You are immortal. You are not going to go anywhere. However, whenever you or I begin to place our emphasis and our attention on time and space, upon the temporary, then we're going to experience sadness, because we are not in alignment with the temporary. We are in alignment with the eternal, timeless now. And there is two huge differences between those two things, right?
Definitely.
That's why suffering ensues when I give some value to time and space and the temporary. This is the sojourn that all of us are upon the path right now, is that we look at the world as an effect, okay? We see it then, because it's an effect, neutral. And because it is neutral, we are retrieving all of the value that we placed upon the effect to the temporal, okay? And then we place that value instead on what's happening in my own psyche, in my own mind, in the mind of Christ. That is where the kingdom of heaven is experienced. Hey, Aaron. Love you so much, husband. So, anyway, and yes, Leo is with us right now, okay? Kelly, I hope that I've answered your question here. Let me just look here real quick. And if anybody have any other questions here, I'm right here for you. Let me just look here quickly. Okay, I think that was the last question, right?
I think so.
Okay, good. Oh my God, it's already 6 till.
Yeah.
My God. We're going to go a little 5 minutes over because we started a little afterwards because of Facebook glitch that we experienced. Okay. Here we go. As you realize, this is on the next paragraph of the Way of Mastery. As you realize that you can surrender into something that seems beyond you, and that you can entertain the insane thought of trusting the invisible, you come to more and more to be less and less. Now, this is very important, and Kelly, I think this will actually answer the question that you have posed to all of us here. Okay? You can surrender into something that seems beyond you. Okay? In other words, something that is permanent, that is not mortal at all. Okay? And when we do that, we then begin to place our trust on something that is more invisible than visible. Now, you may not be able to accept this 100%, so I just invite you to chew up the meat and spit out the bones. If you don't like it, I don't care. But the Way of Mastery really refers to it by saying, look, what we are experiencing in the dream state, in time and space, is actually more unreal than what is happening in the invisible field beyond it. But we're not gonna know that invisibility, is that a word? Invisibility, there it is.
I think so.
The invisibility of that state, unless we remove our value on what we think is time and space and real. And it's not. Okay, this is why when a person understands that he or she is in a dream state, and understands as well that they are not a participant within the dream state, but they are in itself the dreamer of the entire dream. Okay? This is why this paragraph says you come more and more to be less and less. So in other words, more and more you begin to have an experience of yourself as the Christ incarnate, expressing the love of God to a world that is in desperate need of it. When we do that, okay, then we attach ourselves more with the invisible realm and less more in time and space, in the temporal realm of time and space. So in other words, it's less more about Yule and Kevin Rice. It's less more about Jeff or Spirit or Kelly or John, all of you. It becomes less about you. Okay? It's less egoic, less egocentric, and more. You allow that to recede a little bit, and then you begin to step into your own identity of who you really are. The beautiful, awesome creation that God has, in splendid ways, created you. But we don't know that as long as we give a value or attention to this pile of dust we call Kevin Rice or Yule Turnquist. Okay? We begin to step back, and then we begin to step forward, and to allow the light and the love of God to bring us to an awareness, a state of freedom, a state of being here and now and not in the matrix of time and space. Okay? Because the moment that we give any attention or energy to that voice of fear, those voices from time and space, then we begin to deepen the notion that what I am looking at right now is actually real. But when I don't do that, then I understand that I'm the dreamer of the entire dream instead. Then our dream can be easily changed, almost instantly, when we begin to choose once again and place yourself as the Savior of the world. The thought of perfect love in form, a channel, a simple vehicle through which the love of Spirit can shine forth. Your only task becomes the cleaning of your windows, the polishing of your floors, and the weeding of your garden, so that light can pour forth. And by the way, we were just talking about Miami Jewish, and they just called me right now. So if Chris, if you're listening, you need to call them right now, because I'm not answering right now. Okay, it's 8 o'clock here in the Eastern time, and my gosh, I actually have several pages here, and I'm going to continue it. And through the Academy of Spiritual Awakening page, I'm going to really go through the miracle principles from A Course in Miracles. And I just want to see here, Jeff, I love you too, my friend, and Spirit. Jeff, you live in Indiana, and I really do love what Rev Kevin has to say. Hey, Jeff, it's not about Kevin Rice here. It's not about Ewell Turnquist. It's not about Jeff Melrose, which is a wonderful name, by the way. That's wonderful. And I appreciate your graciousness. I really do. But what we really want to connect with is who we really are, and to let go of the self that we have created ourselves. That's it. That is why we want to experience ourselves less and less and less, and more spirit, spirit, spirit. That's it. Okay? Any other questions, Jeff? Let me know. I love you too, my friend. Okay, folks, we've got about 4 minutes here, so I just want to pick one more thing. Oh my God, I know how to end this here with grace. And then Yuli and I can connect after we are done here. Right. You doing okay, Leo? Or I just called him Leo. This is Leo, okay? Yeah. Yule, you doing okay?
Yes.
Okay. Look, one of the things I read today, and I mentioned this to Reverend Chris Jackson today when we talked, was the beginning of this book, okay? It says, I promise you this, and I am saying this to you as well. I promise to you this. If you become wholly committed to awakening from the dream you have dreamt since the stars first began to appear in heavens, and if your one desire is to be only what God created, then lay at the altar of your heart with every breath, everything you think you know, everything you think you need, and look lovingly upon every place that fear has made a home in your mind, and allow correction to come. It will come. Regardless of how you experience it, it will come. And the day and the moment will arise, and all of your pain and fear and suffering will have vanished like a wind that pushes the foam of the wave away, revealing the clarity of the ocean beneath you. You will literally feel throughout your being that there never was a dream. Some memories might remain with you, and you will know that somewhere you must have dreamt a dream or had a thought of wondering what it would be like to be other than the way God created you. But it will be such a faint echo that will leave you no trace upon you. In your heart, you will smile gently, regardless of the circumstances in which you find yourself. There will be peace from the crown of the head to the tips of the toes, and that peace will walk before you wherever you go. It will enter a room before you enter with a body. And those who are becoming sensitive will wonder who has come into their place. And some will even say, behold, I believe Christ has come for dinner. And you will be that one. For that is who you are. Christ eternal.
Amen.
Wow. Unbelievable. You wanted to come over here for a minute here and tell everybody how you're doing here. I'm going to move this over here. Yule.
I'm doing awesome.
You are?
I mean, yeah. I mean, just that last page, the last segment that you read.
Yeah.
When I read it at home, I got the book last week or 2 weeks ago. I can't remember. But it just brought me to tears.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really did, because,
Yeah.
you know, I've been reading the course on and off since you left for Miami, which was over 10 years ago. You know, I've been, you know, I would pick the book up, I'd read a little bit, I'd put it down, I'd go back to it a month or two or maybe 6 months later. You know, but I never got back into it the way I have done now that you've returned.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I mean, it's just, I mean, this is the perfect time.
Yeah.
With everything that's happening right now.
Well, you have to strike when the iron is hot.
Yeah.
And it's hot right now.
Yeah.
It's hot right now. So, look, Yule is here, and I appreciate you being here too, because I talked to Yule last night for like a good time,
Yeah.
probably at 11 p.m.
Yeah, it was.
And about what we are really approaching the future together, the Academy of Spiritual Awakening. And I said, look, I'm going to do this individually. And he said, yeah, but I want to be there anyway. And I said, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. We can move together. And we are going forward together. And look, we're going to be, Yule and I, and Aaron, and Esteban Landano. By the way, Esteban right now is on a plane to China and Japan. So he'll be gone for like 3 weeks. But he is connecting with us through Facebook Live. And I love you, Esteban Landano, and so does everybody here. And we love Yule and Aaron and everybody here as we move forward gracefully, with graciousness, with respect, and with courtesy. So we're going to be giving you an email with just 3 questions of really works for you, whether you want to come here or whether you want to continue and connect with me on Facebook Live for those who are here in West Palm Beach. And secondly, I invite you as well to invite and share and like people on this Facebook Live and extend it to the world. Also, I will be in Miami doing a monthly class soon, and I'm going to give you the details as soon as everything, all the flyers and everything are done. I'll let you know when I'm in Miami, both in November and December and throughout as well. And I think that's all I need to say, right?
Yeah.
Okay, folks. And here, look, folks, we are telling you, man, if no one has told you today that they love you, allow us to be the first. We love you so much, and you are pure light.